Alright, guys, so this episode of Glee is the season finale, the last episode we get till 8 months from now. Was this a good enough episode? The question is, was this a good enough episode to send us off with? Let's find out. This is going to be my review for Glee Season 5, Episode 20, the season finale called the Untitled Rachel Berry Project. And so, this was the season finale. If you guys remember last year's season finale, I despised it. I despised that finale. I hated it with a big, big passion. I absolutely hated that finale. And I mean, it's probably the worst episode of Glee ever. And I was really looking forward to this finale because this whole season of Glee, in my opinion, this half, the New York half at least, has been the best season, I think, in my opinion. It really has. And a lot of you have hated it, but the thing is, last year's finale, nothing really happened in it. Nothing really season finale-ish. This finale, though, had a lot more going for it. There was a lot more they could do with it, and because of that, I was really looking forward to this finale. And you know what? This finale was actually really good. It was pretty good. I was happy with how good it was. Was it the best finale ever? No, it was not as good as this. The season 3 finale, in my opinion, is the best finale. This finale was not as good as that. It was still a really good finale, though, and it definitely, it's a very crucial finale, because wherever this finale takes us is where Season 6 is going to take us, which is not for 8 months, but, Season 6 is the final season of the show, so, it's a pretty big deal. So, yeah, let's get to it. Season finale, we had 3 plots in this episode. We had Rachel's thing with her and, the TV writer. We had Kurt and Blaine, Blaine's showcase, and, the whole thing with Blaine and Kurt. And then we had Sam Mercedes and where they're going to go in their relationship. So let's go to Rachel's plot first. Rachel's whole thing is that she is basically, getting very excited for this TV pilot. She's very excited for it. She's really hoping it's a big success. Of course, Kurt is constantly reminding her, it's not going to be good for you in the end because you're going to get fired from Funny Girl, which, by the way, we didn't see in this episode. By the way, some people are complaining not too much happened in this episode, and I can kind of see that, but I just thought everything was done better in this episode than it was in the other finale. Granted, this episode was directed by Flopson, Matthew Hodgson, but he actually, wrote a good episode for once. That was good. He's the one that wrote Puppet Master, so you guys know why I hate that guy. But basically, Rachel's very excited to see this TV producer, and the TV producer comes, and let me just say that this character was so weird. I mean, seriously, she doesn't remember anybody's names. She doesn't remember anybody's names. She calls Rachel Randy the second she sees her, and her whole idea is just so weird out of everything. Everything she does is so weird, and, Rachel is basically saying, alright, so she's weird, let's just see what she gives us, and she's, she really wants to stick with this TV show because this is what she wants to do, and she really wants to stick with it, but what happens is she's handed the script, and basically everything has changed. Blaine is called Slain, which is funny. The only one that likes the script, by the way, Britanny was back for no reason. I didn't see a reason to bring Britanny back in this episode. That was my one complaint, is that, why the hell is Britanny back? There was no reason to bring Britanny back on this episode. She had no storyline or anything. It was just completely ridiculous to bring her back. But Britanny, basically, she is the only one that likes the script, which is obvious because Britanny is so, crazy and everything. But this girl was literally dumber than, not dumb, but this girl was literally more idiotic than Britanny. Half the shit Britanny said was funny, but nothing of what this girl said was funny. I hated this character. I really did. But you know what? We weren't supposed to like her. And, basically, they're doing a read-through of everything, and basically, it's not going well, because we find out that everything this girl has written is completely out there, completely random. I mean, she had Kurt dressed up as a fucking dinosaur, and by the way, that whole thing with Blaine and Britanny sleeping together, that whole issue, turned out to be for Rachel's TV pilot, which I assumed it would be. And, I assumed it would be for Rachel's TV pilot, and it was. I'm not surprised about that. But basically, they're reading over the script and everything, and, it's really funny. But basically, Kurt tells Rachel, you can't go through with this. You cannot let her turn this into a TV show. It's not taken seriously. And Rachel says, you know what? You're right. And I was glad that Rachel took his advice for once, because it seemed like Rachel was just letting this girl do anything, and she finally said, all right, this is my show. You know, the show's all about Rachel, and she was changing literally all of the details and making it just so much more ridiculous than it was. Like, basically how, you know, Rachel told her little details, like, for example, she had 2 gay dads, things like that, and she just changed everything on her, and Rachel was not happy about that, obviously. So Rachel says, all right, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to tell this girl that this is not what I want, and she needs to change the script. So that's what she does. She goes over to tell the girl, look, I know what you're doing. I do want to work with you. It's just, this is not the vision I see. This is not the vision I see for the show, and it's not what I want. I want this show to be much different than what you wrote. I don't want this for my show. And she basically just says, this is not gonna work out. So basically, this girl basically says to her that, or she says, you know, Rachel then performs the song Glitter in the Air, which I thought was definitely very well done. I really enjoyed her singing that song. I really enjoyed that a lot. I thought it was definitely really, really good. And basically, she then, you know, the girl reads over the script, and she, you know, the girl's listening to Rachel sing, and she says, you know, this girl, Mary, who, as I said, was completely out there, she says, wow, you finally gave me a true emotion I've never heard of, happiness, and that's what she feels. She felt happy for once, and I thought that was great. And, basically, then Rachel is, so then she says that she's going to change it, and they read over the script, and it's really good, and Rachel gets the part. She gets, you know, they turned into a TV pilot, they want to turn into a TV series, and, that's basically what they want to do, is that it's going to work out, and Rachel got the lead, so now she's going off to LA, but Kurt does remind her that, Sydney is planning to fire her if she does, go through with this, so I don't know where that's going to go. I'm thinking in the next episode, I'm thinking next season, Rachel's going to get fired from Funny Girl. I mean, she even had the line, you know, I always thought Fanny Bryce was what I want, but now this TV pilot, this is who I want, this is what I want, and I was kind of surprised by that, but you know what? It's realistic, because as we grow older, our dreams change, and I've heard a lot of people say this, you know, you have people who are, like, working on, say, like, you know, you could have someone who's working as, say, like, an actor, and they'll change and say, wait a minute, I want to be a chef. It happens to everyone. Everyone changes their minds, and you cannot get mad at Rachel for changing her mind. I don't know why people are getting mad at Rachel for this. People change their mind. Yes, Rachel's in a show, granted, and it is a little too late for her to figure it out, but the thing is, Rachel really hasn't gotten the opportunity to really think what she wants to do. She's always thought Broadway was what she wants to do, and now she's realizing she wants to do TV, so I really don't see the problem with this. Yes, I do see that she's probably going to get fired from, you know, Funny Girl, but that's really all I see. I don't see any other problems with it other than her possibly getting fired from Funny Girl, which I'm definitely certain that's where it's going to go, is that she's going to get fired from Funny Girl and she's not going to be able to work on Broadway again, but that was definitely really interesting, and basically, you know, it's really, really, really big there, and that was Rachel's plot. Now, I do want to talk about one final thing with the final scene at the end of the episode, which I will get to, but now let's go to Kurt and Blaine. Kurt and Blaine this episode, I liked them in this episode. I like the way they handled things. Basically, you know, Kurt is really excited because he thinks he's going to perform with Blaine in that showcase. Because Blaine, you know, lied to him in a good way. He wanted to you know, Blaine only did that to him because he wanted him to feel happy and everything, and he wants Kurt to perform with him. He goes over to June, and he says, look, I want Kurt to perform with me and everything, but June just thinks that Kurt's his friend. She doesn't realize that Kurt is his fiancé, and I'm just looking at June like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How can you not tell that Kurt and Blaine are fiancés? I mean, they were practically just... They were singing a romantic duet together. Obviously, they're more than friends. You can clearly tell that. And I was just really surprised that June said, oh, well, I know you want to help your friend and everything. And, you know, Blaine really doesn't want to tell Kurt the truth. He really just, he does not want to do it. But he sings All of Me, which, oh my god, that's probably Blaine's best solo in the show ever. It was so touching. It was so well done. I love that scene so much. And Kurt sees Blaine performing, and he's really excited to do the showcase, but Blaine, basically out of the guilt finally gets to Blaine, and he says, you know what, I lied to you, we can't do this, it's not gonna work. And Kurt is outraged. He's like, look, you told me that we could do this show together, and you completely lied to me, and, you know, Kurt's really upset about this. Now, I thought that they were gonna, like, leave them on, like, a cliffhanger. We weren't sure if they were gonna break up or not, but they actually make up about this, and Kurt tells Blaine, I'm not upset with you. I was upset with you, but I'm not upset with you because this is a big opportunity for you, and I understand why she doesn't want me to perform the show, and I'm going to be there to support you. And, you know, he said, look at those birds fly by, and they compared their relationship to birds, which I really liked. You know, they said how the bird just flies away to their next dream, and he said, that's how I want you to be with your dreams. I don't want to get involved between you and your dreams. And you know what? That was definitely a very good way to do things, to handle things. I thought they handled that situation very well, and overall, I really enjoyed that scene. I thought that was fantastic that they handled it that way, and I was very happy that they did that, because Blaine and Kurt, I wasn't sure where they were going to go in this episode, but I was happy that things did work out for them. So then it's Blaine's showcase and everything, and Blaine basically, Blaine does his showcase number with June. They did No Time at All from Pippin, which... that was a song, the moment I heard it, I said Glee needs to do this song. I think if you go back to my Pippin review, when I review No Time at All, the song from the Pippin soundtrack review, I even say, you know, Glee should do this song. And I thought it was adorable with Blaine and June. Definitely, that song was a lot better than Piece of My Heart. Piece of My Heart was probably one of the worst songs of the season by far. That was awful. But... No Time at All was so cute. I love the way they did that number, and I thought that was just fantastic. I personally love that. I thought that was great. And basically, they performed the song, and then Kurt goes up to June. And I was so happy that Kurt went up to June. You know, June says, I'm sorry it got between you and your friends. And Kurt says, you know, Kurt goes up to June, and she says, you know, your friend's very talented and everything. And basically, Kurt says... that's not my friend. That is my fiance. That is my fiance, and I'm here to support my fiance, and no one's gonna get in between us. He's looked directly at June, because June is kind of flirting with Blaine, it seems like, because, especially in, like, all the songs they sing, it seems like she's flirting with him, and, you know, Kurt's kind of getting jealous about that, and we see June kind of look at them, and Blaine decides to perform with Kurt because he wants them to perform together. And they sing American Boy, which I thought was very well done. You know what? I really have not liked the Kurt and Blaine duets this season, but that duet was a very big change, because finally Kurt and Blaine both had their equal singing parts, which I really liked about that song. That's one of the things that I really liked about this song, was it was the first clean duet in a while where they both had equal singing parts. And luckily... June actually turns out to be a nice girl, which I was happy about, because June was being a bitch throughout this whole episode. She was literally like, no, you're not performing together, and June finally goes up to them and says, I see the chemistry you two have, and I see that you two are deeply in love with each other, and I do hope the best for you two, and I want you two to know that, you know, I'm fine with you two performing. I have no problem with it at all. And, you know, she says, I will even take all the credit for it. If anyone asks me about it, she says, I will take all the credit for it. I will tell everyone what's going on. She says, you remind me of my, my ex-husband, because her ex-husband apparently was gay. And you know what? I was very happy she did that. She was okay with them, because I was very worried of what was going to happen with them. And luckily, she was okay with that. So, okay, you're okay with that. I think that's great. And I definitely am looking forward to seeing where Kurt and Blaine are headed. We don't really get to see anything else from there. But what I'm thinking is that Blaine is going to become this... Here's where I'm thinking Season 6 is going to go for Kurt and Blaine. Blaine is going to become this huge star, and Kurt's going to get jealous, definitely. And I don't think they're going to break up. I think they might break up for, like, half the season, but then they'll get back together, because Kurt and Blaine are endgame. But you know what? I'm really love that June was actually okay with Kurt and Blaine, because I really didn't want to dislike her. Shirley MacLaine's very likable, and I didn't want to dislike her. So I'm happy she actually turned out to be a nice person. Let's go to Sam Mercedes. That was Kurt and Blaine's plot. Let's go to Sam Mercedes. Sam Mercedes, by far, I think, had the most season finale-ish plot out of all of them. I mean, Rachel's plot, yes, was season finale-ish. Kurt and Blaine's plot, yes, but Sam Mercedes really had the most season finale out of everyone. You know, Mercedes, we find out right away, is going on tour, and, you know, she's asking Sam, are you okay with the long distance and everything? They're agreeing to do a long-distance relationship, but the big thing is that Sam is, at his, basically, Sam is at his modeling job or whatever, and basically, he is there, and he has this rubber band on his hand, and he's talking to this other guy, and this guy's like, well, why do you have a rubber band? And he says, I use it every time I think sexually of another girl, because he wants to keep that promise he made Mercedes. Mercedes said, I want to wait to have sex till we get married, and, he wants to keep that promise to her, so every time he did that, he pinches himself. But this girl that's taking pictures of him is starting to come on to him a little bit. She's kind of like, she says he's very attractive, and she said that she definitely likes him very sexually. I think she even called him sexy. That's what she called him. And basically, she's just coming on to him, and, you can definitely see that she is trying to seduce him. And she tells him, come back here. We will finish up the photo shoot. And I really like this next scene. We have Rachel Kurt talking to Mercedes, telling her, look, you gotta break up with Sam. Sam is not going to be able to handle the long distance. He's going to end up cheating on you. You have to break up with him. And you have Blaine and Artie telling him, we know you're not going to, we know you're not going to be able to handle it from Mercedes. We know you're not going to be able to keep that promise from her, because we know you're a guy, and you have those, we as guys, even without, when we're not with a girl for a while, you're going to end up doing with, like, what Blaine did to Kurt, where he cheated on him because Kurt was away from him, and they don't want the same thing to happen to Sam and Mercedes, obviously. They like Sam and Mercedes together, and what happens is, we see him go over to this girl. I thought he was going to cheat on Mercedes. I thought that's what they were setting up, and I'm like, damn it, Sam is going to cheat on her, and they're going to make him very, very unlikable. This girl basically is coming on to him, and she's seducing him and everything. She kisses him. We don't know what happens. We see Sam come back. You can see the guilt on his face. I thought he slept with this girl. I was pretty certain he did. But he goes over to Mercedes, and he says, I cheated on you. And she says, how'd you cheat on me? And he said, this girl came on to me. And then she said, okay, then what happened? And he said, she kissed me. And then Mercedes says, that's it? We find out that this girl just kissed him, and then he's not sure if he kissed her back, and then he ran away because he wasn't comfortable around her. He didn't want to cheat on Mercedes, and Mercedes tells him, look, I've really thought about the whole sex thing. I want to wait till I'm 30, and Sam says he's okay with it, but Mercedes says, I understand that you like this girl and you wanted to. I understand that it's not going to work between us, and we have to break up. So Sam and Mercedes broke up, and you know what? I'm not surprised. I expect them to break up in this episode, and they broke up. So Mercedes and Sam are apparently done, and I'm not surprised because I expected them to break up. So yeah, they are done, and yeah, so that definitely is pretty interesting. And, yeah, so that's Sam and Mercedes as far as they go. And the thing is, I was very happy that Sam did not cheat on Mercedes. By the way, Mercedes told him that if she ever wants to have sex with him, before, if she ever decides to break her promise and have sex with him earlier, then she will let him know. And I thought that was great because it really is setting up that Sam and Mercedes are going to get back together, and they are pretty much endgame, because Ryan Murphy said the three couples that are endgame are Britanny, who we have one mention of. We don't know if they're together or not. We had Blaine and Sam and Mercedes. They are endgame, and I really hope that Sam and Mercedes get back together. I really like the chemistry they've had in this season. I was really looking forward to them this season, and they turned out to actually be a very nice couple. Probably one of the most genuine, probably one of the most genuine, realistic couples on this show, because some of the decisions they had to make were very realistic, and you know what? I was very happy with that on this show, so I definitely have enjoyed Sam and Mercedes this season. And that was all the plots of this season. Now, let's get to the big things of this season. By the way, we have something with Sam that I'll get to in a second. The very end of the season, we see Rachel. She basically says to them, look, I'm going to go to LA, and, if I get this part, I'm going to go to LA. We know that Rachel got the part already. I already said that, but, Rachel says, I'm going to go to LA. We're all going to be separated. Turns out that Sam is leaving because we see Sam's name on, like, a city bus and everything, and they go out to see it. And it turns out that's all he wanted. He just wanted to be half naked on a city bus, and that's all he ever dreamed of, is just that. And that's all he really wanted, because he just wanted, like, that 15 minutes of fame sort of thing. And it's kind of sad, because Sam really doesn't know what he wants to do in his life. And then the end of the episode, oh my god. They decide to all sing together, and because they're realizing that they're all going to be away, so Rachel says, alright, here's the deal. Let's make a pledge that 6 months from now, we are all going to come back to New York and we're all going to visit us, you know, because this is where we all feel happy and everything. And what I'm thinking is that I'm really hoping that they do keep this promise, but the very end of the episode, we see Sam, he says, I'm going back home. He literally went back home. Guess where he went? He went to McKinley. He's walking the halls of McKinley, pulls up to the choir room, looks right in the choir room, and he gets this idea. He's like, I'm going to reform the Glee Club. That is the look that he gave. He gave this look like, I'm going to reform the Glee Club, and I cannot wait. Sam is going to be the one to reform the Glee Club, and I think that's fantastic because, you know what, Sam really is the only character where we don't know what he's doing. We know pretty much what every other character is doing. Sam is the only one we don't know, and now we know what he's going to do. He's going to reform the entire Glee Club, and I cannot wait. And that was how the finale ended. The finale ended with us seeing Sam going up, trying to reform the Glee Club, you know, planning on reforming the Glee Club, possibly, and also Rachel getting the part. So, now let's get to what I think is going to happen in the next season. Let me just say that this was a good finale. Was it the best finale of the show? No. It was not as good as the Season 1 finale, or a Season 2 finale, or the Season 3 finale, which were all great. This finale was probably just, it was great. It really was great. It was not bad, in my opinion. It was not as bad as everyone's saying it is. Everyone's saying this finale is like the worst finale ever. I can kind of see why you would think it's the worst finale ever, because, one, it's directed by Flopson, who usually gives us really shitty episodes. The only good episode he gave us besides this was Shooting Star. So, definitely what I'm saying, but I do want to talk a little bit about this season and what I've liked about this season. What I've really liked about this season is the change and the tone of this, you know, the New York episodes. I've loved these New York episodes because it's really been a much more mature show. They've had a lot more mature storylines, a lot less characters, so a lot more time to spend with those storylines. They had 7 songs in this episode, but they had a lot of character development in this episode, which I was very happy about. They had a lot of things to do in this episode, which I was also very happy about. So overall, you know, I have loved all of these New York episodes. The only one I didn't love was the Backup Plan. The Backup Plan is the only New York episode that I was kind of like, yeah, it was okay. Because that episode just, I liked what they were doing with that episode, but I thought that episode was just okay. So yeah, overall, Season 5, I think it's been the best season of the show, in my opinion, because of the New York episodes, because of the whole second half of the season in general, the whole second half of the season. Ever since Frenemies, the show has been fantastic, and I think that's great. The first half of the season can go fuck itself, because the first half of the season was just bleh. The first half of the season, honestly, was awful. Minus 4 really good episodes. That was it. The first half of the season just, ugh. Second half of the season was fantastic, though. A couple things that we do need to see in this last season. Next season is the final season of the show. I can't believe it. I feel like it's gonna crush me when Glee ends. It really is, because even though Glee is not my favorite show anymore, it still is such a huge part of my life, because it's been a show that I've stuck with for a very long time. It was the very first, like, big drama show that I've stuck with, and that's why it's going to crush me when Glee ends. But the thing is, I'm really looking forward to the 6th season. One, because of what happened with Sam. I'm really looking forward to seeing where that's going to go. He's going to be now in, they basically said how in the very last scene, how the next season's going to be. Because Rachel says, we're all going to be scattered all over the place, and we're not going to be able to see each other. Rachel and Kurt are going to be apart for a while, which is going to be sad. You know, Kurt and Blaine, I'm thinking they're staying in New York. Already staying in New York. Mercedes is going around the world. She's going, God knows where, because she's on a tour, so she's going around the world. Sam's in Ohio, and Rachel's in LA. So, that's where the next season's going to be. It's going to be showing all of these characters in all these different places. And you know what? I think it's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be cool to see Rachel in LA. It's going to be cool to see Kurt and Blaine in New York. It's going to be cool to see Sam in Ohio. Because we'll still have that, McKinley part of the show back. But it's not going to be, like, completely throughout the show. Which is what we need from this show. You know, I would like to... We have to get closure to that whole thing. We have to get the Glee Club back. We have to do that. The newbies also, I think we are going to see the newbies again. Honestly, what I want them to do the newbies is bring the newbies back, but only for one episode. Show us what they've been doing in that one episode, and then close out their storyline. I think that'd be perfect, and the only one I'd like possibly back is Kitty, because I'd like Kitty and Ray to get back together, because they're endgame for me. I'm still a Cardi shipper, but let me just say that this episode, it definitely set up for a lot of great things in Season 6. Also, I think that Kurt and Blaine, what's going to happen is that Blaine is going to become this huge star. Kurt's going to be kind of feeling neglected and everything. But eventually, Kurt and Blaine are going to figure out their differences, and Kurt is going to become as big as Blaine. I really hope that Kurt and Blaine established that they're a partnership, and I was happy that they established this in this episode. So maybe they'll end up, like, doing some sort of a show together. I don't really know. We'll have to see. But I do think we're going to see June again. I think June is going to be a character we see again, and honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing that again. Rachel, I think, is going to be fired from Funny Girl. Now she's going to LA. She's going to be done. She's done with Funny Girl. Because she is going to LA. And she's done with Funny Girl. It's easy to say that she's done. So she hasn't even been fired yet, but you can just tell she's gonna get fired, definitely, from Funny Girl. But the thing with that is that Rachel's gonna get fired from Funny Girl, definitely. And as far as Santana goes, I do think we're gonna see her again. Britanny again this episode, completely pointless. I do not know why she was in this episode. It made no sense at all. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for all I have to say. And honestly, guys, how do I feel about this long-ass hiatus? We have 8 months without Glee. 8 months. It's not coming back till January. So that means June, July, August, September, November, December, January. No. May, June, July, August, September, November, December, January. That is 8 months. And because of those 8 months, honestly, I think it's a good thing because it'll give them more time to develop storylines. It'll give them more time to think some things through. It'll give them more time to give good closure to these characters because that's what Season 6 is all about. It's all about the closure. And I just want closure to these characters. And you know what? We're already starting to see that. And I'm happy with that. We're already starting to see that with some of these characters in this episode. We saw that. And I'm very happy about that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this finale. Overall, this was a really good finale. Definitely better than last week's. Definitely better than last year's finale. Not the best episode of the season, but still a really, really great finale, and I am really looking forward to next season. So I think that's it for this review. Let me know what you guys saw of this finale. I know a lot of people were very mixed about this finale, but overall, it gave me what I wanted, and I was happy with it. Yes, there was no big cliffhanger, but I wasn't expecting anything from that. I was expecting them to just, because they always say, big cliffhanger, and nothing happens. They did this last year, and nothing happened, so I was expecting nothing to happen, but that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. My next review will be for, Fargo, the originals, and Awkward, so I will see you guys for that. Bye.